I love Kaguya-sama. I just want to get that straight before this video even begins. However, that doesn't mean I can't use it as a jumping off point to complain about something that's been bothering me with the romance comedy genre, which is debatably my favorite genre of anime. I've always been a huge fan of rom-coms in anime, but there is an aspect, or even a trope, that has just gotten so old. But just about every single rom-com anime out there still uses this old, worn-out trope. And that's not letting the two main characters ever confess to each other. They'll go on awkward dates, almost kiss, and be constantly put into situations that make them look like a couple, but we never get to see them actually get that catharsis. They will never be allowed to actually develop a relationship because the whole basis for the comedy in these kinds of anime is them trying to subtly confess to each other, but the universe just won't let that happen. Or in the case of Kaguya-sama, trying to make the other one confess first. It's funny for a while, but when you get a full 24 episodes of characters trying and failing to confess to one another, it just kind of feels like it's starting to become, well, desperate. I feel like a lot of these shows just don't feel comfortable writing comedy that isn't based around awkward and misconstrued confessions, and that just gets so boring so fast. I think that's why, despite falling into this trope, Kaguya-sama is still very successful because a lot of its comedy isn't strictly based on their relationship. I mean, we have Chika and her hilarious training arcs with Shirogane, or Ishigami and his hilarious arcs with both Shirogane and Kaguya. There's more to this show's comedy than Shirogane and Kaguya trying to get together. However, that doesn't nullify the fact that they are still not together. To me, it just feels like the show is starting to get to the point where it's desperate to keep them apart. Now I know what you may be thinking, well, once they get together, won't that mean the show is over? And the answer should be obvious. No, of course not. One of my favorite rom-com anime to come out was My Love Story. They do play around with the joke of Takeo and Rinko struggling to confess to each other, but the second their mutual friend Tsunekawa hears about it, he makes the two of them confront each other and boom, they are dating. And that's only like episode 5, and maybe even sooner because I haven't watched the show in a while and I don't remember exactly where it is. And you know what the rest of the show is about? Them learning how to be a couple and deal with each other's emotions and so on. It's hilarious as hell and probably still one of my favorite rom-com anime to date, and it doesn't rely on excess use of characters failing to confess their feelings. The show takes time to develop their relationship instead of leaving it in what seems like a permanently stunted situation. The characters have to get used to the fact that they are dating, struggle revealing their true feelings, and how much they want to hang out with each other. Not to mention the trouble of balancing their newfound love lives and the rest of their responsibilities. And they find time to make all of this funny. After they start dating is where some of my favorite jokes are, which are also just so wholesome because frickin' Takeo is the best. And instead of having to emotionally stunt these characters' growth for comedy's sake, they don't have to, and the show doesn't feel like it's desperately holding on to something that just can't really be maintained. Another good example of a rom-com anime breaking that streak is Wotakoi. Now, Wotakoi is definitely meant for an older audience considering the main cast are all in their mid-20s, but literally it's the first episode where the main two characters get together. And once again, the comedy is mostly derived from them learning more about each other and their two friends who are also in a relationship stirring shit up. It's a good show because once again, we get these characters who aren't emotionally stunted and can grow throughout the show. And guess what? They freaking do. I mean, we get to see just how pathetic these two were at the beginning of the anime, but towards the end, we really get to see just how well they understand each other. There is some genuinely important growth that happens there, and it makes this show not just funny, but also fulfilling. So my point is this, I think Kaguya-sama would do well to learn from shows like these. I think letting the two main characters move on to being in a relationship would open way more doors for their comedy. Like, there is a limit to this kind of comedy, and Kaguya-sama is getting dangerously close to it. But I beg to argue that this show could still be funny as hell after they start dating. I mean, I even have a solution on how to keep the hilarious superior to you power dynamic the two main characters have. Have the characters not be confessing, but have the other misconstrue it as such, and basically ended with both of them thinking the other confessed to them. Then boom, both of them think they have the upper hand in the relationship. Then just switch the battles to something else, like who is going to make the move for their first kiss, or who is going to ask the other on their first date. I think those could be hilarious arcs. And god, that opens up so many hilarious scenes where Ishigami could be giving Shirogane horrible advice, and the same thing with Chika giving horrible advice to Kaguya. There's just so much potential with this route, and frankly, it's something that Kaguya-sama needs to do soon. But either way, that's kind of my point when I say Kaguya-sama could be better. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry for only uploading one video this week. I kind of got caught up with a lot of other work for side projects I've been working off to the side, including my Twitch channel. I've been trying to stream more, so if you guys want to join me on Twitch, make sure you guys follow me at twitch.tv/ManimeMatt. A huge thing to my patrons, you guys are my heroes. Please make sure you guys share, like, comment, and subscribe. This is Manime Matt. Make sure you guys say man and go watch that goddamn anime.